Hello everyone, welcome back to the 3-day goal setting challenge. I hope you have a lot of fun yesterday and I hope you discover a lot of great insights, tips and golden nuggets so that you can take this goal setting game to a higher level. Now here's a quick recap about what you have learned yesterday. We have talked about the importance of setting goals. I showed you the Niagara Falls syndrome, where if you don't have a clear direction of where you want to go in life, you will not know which path to take. It is just like driving a car. You need to know your destination, only then you can tell which turn you should take, right? And then we also talk about some examples of how successful people utilize goals and create extraordinary success in their lives. We have seen, like people like Tony Robbins, who wrote down his goals on the back of a map, and we have also seen people like Scott Adams, who wrote down his goals 15 times a day. And we have also learned how setting goals have completely changed Brian Tracy's life. Okay, and then we discover the three core advantages of setting goals. Do you still remember what the three core advantages are? They are control, motivation, and direction. You see, when you have goals, you are in control, and your goals also motivate you, right? And not only that, your goals also show you the way, which gives you direction. After that, you have also discovered how to find out what you want out of your life. You have learned to ask the power questions and some self-discovery questions about yourself. And finally, I shared with you the thing I call goal alignment. Your goals must be something that you truly want to achieve in your life, okay? And that is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. Alright, that's about yesterday's challenge. And for now, let us talk about today's challenge. You see, yesterday you learned about how to find out what you want out of your life. You learned the big picture of setting goals, right? And it gives you a sense of direction of what you want to accomplish in your life. And today, we will be talking about how to transform what you want into goals. Our main focus here in today's challenge is how to set goals. Now, I want to set your expectations right. Here are the things that you will discover by the end of today's challenge. You are going to discover why annual or yearly goals don't work. Yes, you read that right. Annual goals don't work, you see. And you want to avoid setting annual goal or yearly goals, okay? And instead of setting annual or yearly goals, I will share with you how you can compress your goals and make them work for you. And then we will work on a strategy plan for your goals. And you might already know, setting goals is just the first step, right? You need to have action plans to back up your goals. After that, we will talk about how the smarter goal system or the framework works, okay? I know you may have heard about setting SMART goals, but we are going to take it to another level. We will be talking about smarter goals, not just SMART goals, okay? There are a slight difference between the two. And finally, we will be talking about the 90-91 rule. And don't worry if you have no idea what this rule is all about or you have never heard about this rule. Just stick with me until the end and you will have no problem setting an empowering goal that keeps you going, okay? Today is going to be exciting, so let's get started. First, I want to show you the number one mistake people make in setting and achieving their goals. They set annual goals or yearly goals, alright? And if you are doing this as well, you are doing it wrong. Why? Because annual goals, like I said, don't work. Because according to science, only 8% of people actually achieve their annual goals, okay? If you look at this article here, this article is from Inc.com, okay? This article says that, a study conducted by University of Scranton, and this is what the article says. According to the University of Scranton, a whopping of 92% of people who set New Year's resolutions or New Year's goal never actually achieve them. And you know what that means? New Year goals don't work. So if you are setting yearly goals, most likely you are going to fail. And here's another interesting study from this website called Sundright. And this study says research shows 43% of people expect to give up their New Year's resolution by February. You see, if you think about it, that's a bit crazy. You know what that means? It means that if people set goals on 1st January and by February, almost half of them will have abandoned their goals. And then there's also this article I found on Forbes that covers this topic. This is what the article says, all right? Every year, more than 50% of people make New Year's resolutions to lose weight, to quit smoking, to work out, save money, get a promotion, get a raise, and more. And yet, virtually every study tells us that around 80% of New Year's resolution will get abandoned around this month. And this month actually refer to February. Crazy, right? You set up a goal on 1st January and then about a month later on February, you have given up on them. And do you know what that means? You see, years ago, when I first discovered these studies, right, I was taken aback. I was shocked. And then I want to learn what the 8% people, who successfully achieve their annual goals, what they do. I want to learn from them. And also, I want to learn how to stick to my goals so that I can work past February and go on to achieve my goals. But here's another interesting things that I discovered. I also learned that setting annual or yearly goals don't work. And so you don't want to set yearly goal. You don't want to have New Year's goal. You don't want to have New Year's resolution. Because if you do, you see, if you do that, most likely you're going to fail, right? Just like what the study suggests, 92% of people are going to fail and only 8% of them make it. So why do you want to do something that you know you will not succeed with? And that's when the aha moment came to me, all right? I started to realize something. I started to realize that annual goals or yearly goals just don't really work, okay? And because annual goals don't work, you need to do something that will, all right? Just think about it. Have you ever thought about why annual goals or yearly goals don't work? I believe that this has happened to you before. You set a New Year's goal, you tell yourself that by the end of this year you are going to achieve this and that, but when the year ended, you are still not there. And then the following year, you either set the same goal again, or you lower the bar, setting easier goals, or you choose to give up and not to have any goals, right? Does that sound familiar? Now, let us talk about why annual goals don't work. You see, the main reason is because it has a long time frame. When a goal has a long time frame, it becomes unpredictable. You can't tell what's going to happen 10 years down the road, right? But you can easily tell what you will do tomorrow, what you can do tomorrow. You can plan for it, okay? So when you want to achieve something that is too far away, you will have less control over it. And not only that, you will also lose your motivation and not to mention the emotional connection with the goal itself. And this is why long-term goals usually don't really work out well. But don't get me wrong, you can have long-term vision, but not long-term goal. Okay, your vision is something big and far into the future. That's why it is called a vision. But when it comes to setting goals, it needs to be concrete and specific, and that means your goals need to be predictable in the near future. You want to have control over your goals so that you can work on them and achieve them. Now, this person here is Peter Thiel. He is a successful entrepreneur, a co-founder of PayPal, and also a best-selling author for the book called Zero to One. And do you know how he managed to achieve all these extraordinary results in his life? He constantly asks himself this one question: how can you achieve your 10-year plan in the next 6 months? And this question is how you should approach all of your goals. You want to compress your goals, and this is what I mean. You want to compress your long-term vision into short-term goals. In other words, you want to focus on setting 90-day goals, okay? Yes, you want to turn your annual goal into a 90-day goal. That's what I mean by compressing your goal. Make it into a shorter term goal. And the ideal time frame is 90 days. Why? Because 90 days is just nice, okay? It's just not too far away into the future, and at the same time, it is not too short that you can't produce significant results and make progress. So if you want to set goal, make it a 90-day goal. Well, after you go through this exercise with me, you'll understand why 90-day goals is effective and powerful. I want you to imagine this, okay? Let's just say that this is where you start, and then there's this journey to get you to your goals or your destination over here, okay? And just imagine that, let's say in this example, your goal is to save $10,000, okay? Your goal is to save $10,000, and you are holding on to a job that earns you $5,000 a month. Just imagine that, okay? you are earning $5,000 a month. And there are two scenarios. The first one is to imagine yourself to save $10,000 in 1 year. Now, what will you do? You have 1 whole year, so you can go slow and there are still plenty of time, right? There are 12 months in a year. So that means you can save $840 every month and you get to your goal of saving $10,000 in a year, correct? All you need to do is save up to $840 every month and you're good to go, right? Guess what are your strategy then? Probably, well, you will have to cut some expenses here and there, correct? You don't have to look for other ways to invest or to grow your income or to take another part-time job or to find ways to come up with a better plan to reach your goal. All you need to do is cut your expenses here and there. Maybe you don't go to Starbucks as often, okay? Or maybe you can cut down other unnecessary monthly expenses and you can save, if you can save $840 a month, and by the end of the year you will have $10,000 in the bank, right? It's simple and straightforward. Now for the second scenario, imagine if you want to hit your goal, okay, the same amount, exact same amount, $10,000, you want to save that amount, but you have to do it in 3 months. What would you do? If you want to hit your goal, you can't just rely on saving $840 a month like the previous scenario, right? Because this is just not going to work out. The time frame is a lot shorter and it forces you to think outside the box. If you are holding a job, let's say you're still the same, you're still holding the job that makes you $5,000 a month, right? It will be extremely difficult to save $3,400 in a month, okay? This is the amount that you need if you want to save $10,000 in 3 months, okay? Each month you have to save up to $3,400 and your monthly salary is only $5,000. There are other expenses you need to cover and you need to eat, right? Not to mention that if you have a family to take care of or other commitments like your car or housing loan. So how can you achieve this goal? You have to do something completely different. Your strategy will be totally different than when you have a full year to achieve it. For instance, you may have to take up a part-time job or maybe start an online business, or perhaps you have to offer your service or sell something online, right? Whatever you do, the strategy will be different from scenario 1, and this is why time frame matters, okay? And your time frame will determine your strategy, okay? As you can see, the goals is the same, but when the time frame is different, your strategy to get there is different, and this is why you want to have a shorter time frame goal than a longer one. Well, you just have to take a minute to think about this, okay? When your goal has a shorter time frame, it is more predictable, okay? It gives you better clarity and you can become more specific with your action plan. Think about it. It is easier to plan for something that is 3 months away than to plan for something that is 3 years away, right? And besides, a goal that is specific and has a shorter time frame gives you a lot more urgency. Just like the previous example that I shared with you just now, if you want to save $10,000, imagine if you want to do it in 10 years. There's no urgency at all, okay? You can take your own sweet time and do whatever you like. This explains why people procrastinate and put things off until the very last minute. When they have no choice but to do it, then they will do it, okay? And of course, a goal that is clear gives you better motivation. Do you now know why people fail at their yearly or New Year's goal? And do you now see why you want to set 90-day goals instead of yearly goals? Next, I want to be talking about this principle called the one thing, okay? This is actually a great book and I suggest you read it. Here's the question that a lot of people ask. How many goals should you set? You probably already know the answer. Just one. One personal goal and one professional goal. Listen, you can have 100 goals if you want to, okay? But when it comes to focusing and concentration and working on your goals, you need to focus on just one. And why is that? And the reason is simple. You don't want to split yourself too thin. You see, having one completed project is much better than having 10 incomplete projects, okay? The key is to focus on just one goal for the next 90 days. Don't you think that you can put yourself together, motivate yourself, and do everything at your power to achieve just one goal in 90 days? That's the plan. That's how you achieve your goal, right? And that's how you make real progress in your life. In the book, The One Thing, the author says that success is built sequentially. So you just need to focus on one thing at a time. Like a domino, you push one domino down and it will hit the next bigger one to fall, and the dominoes will continue to fall. The rest will continue to fall just like that. Okay? The same principle applies in your life. When it comes to setting and achieving your goals, you just need to focus on achieving just one goal. Okay? Once you have accomplished that goal, you see your life progress forward significantly. So choose to set the most impactful goal. And remember, focus on just one goal for your personal life and one goal for your professional life. Now that you understand the time frame for your goals is important, right? You want to set just 90-day goal, okay? You don't want to set yearly goal. And you want to have just one goal. You do not want to have 100 goals, okay? So the next thing we want to talk about is how to actually set the goal. I learned this technique from Michael Hyatt. In his book, he shared the smarter goals system or framework, you may want to call it, okay? Now, you may have heard about SMART goals before, but this is slightly different than the previous SMART goal system, okay? And one thing I want you to understand is that this framework is just a suggestion, it's an advice. And you have to stick to this advice as much as possible. Okay, it doesn't mean that if your goal doesn't follow the smarter goal framework, you are sure to fail. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, these are tips on how you should set the goals. The smarter goal framework has 7 key attributes. And the first attribute is none other than being specific. This is important because, as I have continuously said, when your goal is specific, it will be easier to formulate a plan to achieve it. A vague goal is not powerful because it doesn't give specific instructions to your mind. When your goal is specific, you are actually telling your mind, hey, this is what I want to achieve. So come up with an idea or a plan to accomplish it, right? When your goal is specific, you are actually setting yourself up to win. You are giving specific instructions to your mind what you want it to do. Okay, let me show you some example here. To learn photography versus to finish ABC's photography course. You see, one is vague and the other one is specific. To grow my blog versus to build a profitable blog that makes $1,000 every month. Okay, again, the goal to grow my blog is vague, but to build a profitable blog that makes $1,000 every month is much more specific. It gives you an idea of the outcome that you want to your mind so that your mind can work on it, right? And the third example, to lose weight versus to lose 5 kg in 90 days. You want to be as specific as possible, right? The second attribute is M, which stands for measurable. And there's a saying, you see, I don't know who said it, but there's a saying that goes something like that. If you can't measure something, you can't improve it. I think it was Peter Drucker who said that. Okay, think about it for a second. When you can't measure something, how can you tell if what you do is getting you the results you want, right? It's just like the first thing you need to do when you want to lose weight is to weigh yourself. You have to stand on the weighing machine and track down your weight so that after a month later, you can track your weight again to see if what you do is getting you the result you want. You want to know if you are gaining weight or you are losing the weight, right? But if you don't weigh yourself, you can't tell, okay? So make your goal quantifiable. In other words, include a number, okay? Include a number if possible. Don't say that your goal is to be happy or to get rich. Those are very vague. Make it quantifiable. If you want to, let's say if your goal is to get rich, how much money do you want to make per month, per year? Okay, be specific, make it measurable. Or if it is about being happy, ask yourself this question, okay? What has to happen for you to feel happy? Is it a good date with your lover? Or is it when you spend an hour of playtime with your children? This is how you make things measurable, okay? Imagine the outcome that you want and make it quantifiable. And of course, A stands for actionable. Now, actionable goals are something that you can work on, okay? You want to set your goals in a way so that you can execute and do. Let me show you some examples, all right? Let's say I want to be a writer versus I will write 1000 words every day from 9 a.m. One is actionable and the other is not. You see, I want to be a writer is not something actionable. Okay, you can't work on that, right? The only way to become a writer is to write. And that's why you want to frame your goal in an actionable way. Instead of saying that you want to be a writer, set the goal to write 1000 words every day. And when you do that, you eventually get your book done and you become a writer, correct? And the second example, I want to close 10 sales this month versus I want to make 10 presentations this month, or I want to make 200 calls to my prospects this month. Can you notice the difference? The first target, right? I want to close 10 sales this month. This may sound interesting and ambitious, okay? It's because there are sales there, you see. But the thing is, this goal is not actionable. It is something that you can't do. You cannot execute it. Rather than saying to close the sale, make it actionable. So that, say that you want to make 10 presentations, or break it down into call numbers like, like how many numbers of calls you need to make to your prospects, right? So this is how you make your goals actionable. The next attribute is R, risky. Yes, you want your goals to be risky because great things just never come from your comfort zones. Now, the traditional SMART goal system, right, doesn't include this attribute. I think that this attribute is important because you want to experience growth in your life, right? And in order to grow, you need to venture out of your comfort zone and do what is difficult. You want to challenge yourself. That is why you need to understand the concept of incremental goal versus stretch goal. Okay, let me give you an example. An incremental goal is like earning an additional $100 when you are already earning $5,000 every month consistently. Okay, when you think about it, is earning an additional $100 going to force you to move outside your comfort zone? Is it going to challenge you? Is it going to excite you that you want to jump out of bed every morning? I don't think so, right? Because you're already earning $5,000 every month, and additional of $100 means nothing. But a stretch goal is something different. It can be like double your income, okay? Instead of earning $5,000 every month, now that you set the goal to double your income, it stretches you to think outside the box, okay? It challenges you to do the difficult, and it will force you to go beyond your comfort zone and grow to become someone stronger and better. And that's stretch goals, okay? And this is why you want to make your goals a little risky, okay? Just like the Goldilocks rule suggests, you want to make your goals slightly difficult to achieve, but not overly difficult that it is totally out of your reach, okay? You want to make things a little challenging so that you will feel the motivation to do it. You see, when things are easy, you don't feel the motivation to do it. Think about driving to work. Is that fun? No, right? But what if you have to drive to a new place that is out of town and you have never been to that place before? It feels fresh and kind of gives you an interesting feeling, isn't it? Just like traveling to a new country that you have never been to. It challenges you, but at the same time, you feel motivated to do it. That's the Goldilocks rule, okay? So make your goals slightly risky and make them challenging. And then we have T, that stands for time keyed. In short, your goals need to have deadlines. I believe you already know this, right? Many people understand that they need to have deadlines for their goals, but I have no idea why they just don't do it. As I have said earlier, time frame matters. And when you have a deadline for your goal, you are creating a sense of urgency for it. This is especially true for a 90-day goal. Imagine if you set a goal that is 3 years down the road, right? You have 3 years to accomplish it. Guess what would you do tomorrow? Probably nothing, because you still have a lot of time, right? You know you can procrastinate because you still have say 2 years and 364 days to go if you set a 3-year goal, okay? That's why you want to set a 90-day goal which is shorter and more specific, okay? It gives you the sense of urgency and the motivation you need to see your goal into completion. And then we have E, that stands for exciting. Just ask yourself these few questions. Do you look forward to achieving your goals? Do you feel excited when you talk or think about your goals? Do you feel excited when you work on your goals? If your answer is a yes to all the 3 questions above, great, you have set an exciting goal. But if your answer is a no, you have to think about why that is, okay? Why are you not feeling excited for your goal? You should be, okay? There are reasons, and one of the most common reasons is none other than goal alignment. It is something that we talked about yesterday, and it is also related to the last attribute of the smarter goal framework, which is R, relevant. This is the final attribute for the smarter goal framework. Okay, like I said yesterday in goal alignment, your goals must be relevant to your inner values. If your goal isn't something that you truly want to achieve, you never feel inspired to want to work on it. Okay, just like if you hate study but you are forced to do it, do you think you will excel in it? Well, maybe, but most likely not, right? This is why people find it extremely difficult to do something that they don't like. Just like when, for example, when you see a YouTuber who makes a lot of money from publishing videos about cooking, you might be thinking to yourself, hey, since I'm cooking every day at home too, I can be like her, right? But once you try to do that, you discover that it takes more than just recording and publishing cooking videos. You need to have the passion, the skills to edit the videos, and most importantly, you need to have the determination to consistently work on it before you can see any significant result. And that's why you need to choose something that is relevant to you. You want to choose a goal that you can relate to. You want to set a goal that is in alignment with your inner values. Okay? And these are the 7 key attributes of the smarter goal framework. They are S, specific; M, measurable; A, actionable; risky, time key or deadline; and exciting and relevant. These are the 7 key attributes. Okay, so try to set your goals, your 90-day goal, following these key attributes. You have to understand that these are not the rules that's set in stone. Okay, you should follow as much as possible, but it doesn't mean that if your goal isn't, say, like risky or specific or actionable, you are going to fail. No, it doesn't mean that. Okay, following this framework helps you to achieve your goal in a much easier and systematic way. So don't fret about it, don't make it complicated. All you need to do is just try to stick to it as much as possible and then set your goal that way. Once you have your goal written down, the next step you want to do is to plan your goal. So here's how you do it, okay? Once you have your goal, you want to create an action plan for it, okay? You want to create your action plan so that you know what you need to do to achieve your goal. And this step is going to be simple and fun to do, okay? Just ask yourself this question. What do I need to do to achieve this goal? And then you go on and list down all the action steps. Let me give you some examples of the action steps, how you come up with the action steps for your goals, okay? Let's say your goal is to lose 5 kg in 90 days. Here are some of the action steps you can take, okay? Jog for 30 minutes on Monday and Thursday. Work out in the gym for an hour on Tuesday and Friday. Or take a healthy shake as breakfast every weekday. Now, these are just some examples, okay? And the second example is, let's say you want to build a blog that earns you $1,000 a month in 90 days, okay? Of course, these are just some examples, yeah? If you don't have a blog, maybe you can't relate to this, but if you are a blogger like me, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So here are the things that you can do, okay? Write and publish a content over 2,000 words every Tuesday. And that's what I'm doing, okay? Submit a guest article every Wednesday, publish an article on Medium every Friday, schedule social media posts for the week every Monday. These are just the examples of the action steps you can take to achieve that goal. There are more, okay? There will definitely be more. But the thing is, you want to be as specific as possible. The more actionable and specific your plan, the better you can execute it, okay? But what if you don't know what you need to do to get to your goal? Well, then your action step is to find out. Like, for example, if you don't know how to build a website, what's your action step? Find out, read a book, attend a course, go for a workshop, watch a YouTube video, and so on, okay? By now, you already have your 90-day goal and you know what you need to do to get there. And here's the last thing I want to share with you in today's challenge. It is called the 90-90-1 rule. Now, I did not create or invent this rule, okay? I learned this rule from Sir Robin Sharma, the author of the author who wrote the 5 a.m. Club. And here's how the rule works, okay? For the next 90 days, in the first 90 minutes of your workday, give your full focus and put your attention to work on your one goal. 90 days, first 90 minutes, work on your one goal. And that's what the 90-91 rule is about. You want to give yourself 90 minutes of undivided attention to work on your single most impactful goal for the next 90 days. As what Robin Sharma said, you want to make this your magnum opus. You want to give it a 100% commitment to work on your most valuable project that will change your life, okay? For just 90 days, commit and just show up, okay? Work on your goals for 90 days for the first 90 minutes and work on just one goal at a time, okay? Take a minute and imagine if you follow this rule to a T, how will your life change in just 90 days? Imagine that. Can you imagine how much progress and how much change you can make in just 90 days? I hope that by now you can see how everything I shared here can significantly transform your life, help you progress forward, and get you the goal that you want and get you the results that you desire. Okay? This is how powerful it can be when you set 90-day goals and you give yourself time to work on that one goal for the next 90 days, right? So take today's challenge as serious as possible, okay? This could be the historic start of a new and exciting life for you, right? And complete today's challenge, okay? Here's what you have learned and what you need to do, okay? Compress your goal. You have learned how to turn your yearly goal into 90-day goal, okay? Because setting annual goals just don't really work, right? And you want to focus, okay? Set one personal goal and one professional goal and work on just one goal at a time only, okay? You have also discovered the smarter goal framework, and you also learn to commit to the 90-91 rule. Remember, for the next 90 days, you want to spend your first 90 minutes working on your most important goal or project. It can be to lose weight, it can be to write a best-selling book, or it can be to build a profitable online business. Whatever it is, commit to this rule, okay? And make sure you download the handout, just like what you did yesterday, and then you proceed to set your goal, okay? Now, on the first day of the challenge, you have learned the big picture of goal setting and how to discover what you want out of your life. And on the second challenge, which is today, you learn how to set goals that empower you. And tomorrow, which is our last day of the challenge, it is going to be the most important of all, okay? Because people only tell you you need to set goals, but nobody tells you what you need to do after that. And tomorrow, we are going to talk about exactly that. Tomorrow, I'm going to share with you the tips and strategies on how you can stick to your plan and finally make your goals a reality, okay? And I hope you enjoyed today's challenge and complete the challenge for today, okay? And I will see you tomorrow then. Cheers!